Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? Let y'all get in here. Talk about this past weekend's fights. Um, on the ESPN undercard of that happened this past weekend. Richard Torres got a victory over, I think he fought Willie Jake Jr. Got a victory over him. And then also on that card, Antonio Morales, the big 6 foot, was he 6'9", 6'8", Mexican heavyweight. He got a victory as well. I think got a TKO stoppage, I believe TKO. Who did he beat? Dewan Calloway. Dewan Calloway was damn near 400 pounds going into that fight. Uh, would have liked to see Morales in that fight, man. Probably stop him a little bit earlier, but a win is a win. And he got the stoppage, all right. But usually, when you got a guy coming in close to 400 pounds, man, it lets me know he's not in shape. And he's only what? Callaway's what, 6'3", 6'2", something like that. So grossly overweight coming into that fight, man. Um, but on this live, I want to talk about the undercard, another undercard, the main one or the main card that happened this past weekend, and the undercard of that same card, Anthony Joshua and Robert Helenius. All right, L Dub, what's good, bro? DLP, what's good, bro? Good to see y'all in here, man. So y'all just joined. I just briefly spoke about the heavyweights that fought on the ESPN card. Torres getting his victory and Morales getting their victory. Just both those guys in a nutshell, man. Just for both of those guys, keep fighting some journeyman level guys. You know, few more fights of those, and then try to up it against some higher level journeymen, like Jamal Woods, guys like that. Guys can give you some rounds, guys can give you a different look, because realistically, you're not going to go in there and blow everybody out, right? Especially Torres. You're not, he's a smaller heavyweight. But that combinations that he was throwing off the back foot to set up his knockout, well, he knocked the dude down and he got up and then he finished him against the ropes. He's going to be more of a speedy type heavyweight. We got to make guys miss and counter back with speed. All right. And then Morales, same with him. Get him some more journeyman level guys. I don't think they're ready for like the, you know, Johnny Rice level yet. I think he's a little bit too tricky, a little bit too savvy and experienced for those guys right now. But eventually they want to move themselves up and get those type of fights eventually. All right. But AJ, what's good, bro? Bruce Gast, OG, what's up, man? D Obley Newly up in here. What's good, man? All right, y'all. So let me get into L Dub said I'd like to see Torres versus Himia Hio. That'd be a good fight. That would be a good fight, man. Him and Himia Hio, because Hio's shorter heavyweight, wants to come in with the high guard and throw overhands, and then Torres is right there. Yeah, hey, that would be a good fight. Action packed. That'd be an action packed fight. I'll probably favor Torres in that one, but that would be an action packed fight. All right, now I'm gonna go away from the comment section for a little bit, y'all. But I appreciate y'all showing up. Let me see what the he says. Hrgovic looked good, but he's not to be slept on. All right, so let me get to that card. All right, so first and foremost, Johnny Fisher. Um, was a guy he fought Harry Armstrong. And I ain't gonna lie, man. That was a little throwback to the '80s type of heavyweight fight in moments, right? Because Fisher came out, landed a good shot to start the fight. He literally buzzed Armstrong within the first few seconds of the fight. Literally, like the first few seconds. He goes down, he gets up. Um, but Armstrong made Fisher work. There was even parts in the fight where Armstrong was letting his hands go, making him miss a little bit. He just didn't have enough power to really hurt Fisher, but he started landing some good right hands. He was fighting with his hands down a little bit, like them dudes in the '80s. Fight with his hands down, throw some combinations, move. You know what I'm saying? Slipping punches, rolling. Like, I love that type of fighting, man. I love it when guys can fight like that, using the jab, quick 1-2. I'm just a big Larry Holmes fan, man. So, but I like when guys can get that type of movement going, letting the hands go, slipping and moving like Greg Page used to do. Armstrong was showing. I'm not saying he's on the level of those guys. I'm just saying he was showing some of that style, which I like. And he made Fisher work. And Fisher had to fight off the back foot in moments in that fight. He had to use his jab. The fight slowed down, and he was still able to dominate that fight. And then, speaking of old school fights, at the end of that fight, when it was when Fisher dropped him again, you guys remember when Larry Holmes fought Mike Tyson, and Tyson had Holmes against the rope, and Holmes, he tried to uppercut on Mike, and then his glove kind of got caught in the rope. Boom, got caught and got dropped. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it looked like with Fisher and Armstrong. I don't think Armstrong's glove got caught in the rope, but he was against the rope trying to fire an uppercut and got caught. And he got caught vicious with a right hand. All right, but that dude showed a lot of heart though, man. He made Fisher work in that fight. Far as Fisher, I know they fought for some little minor regional type of belt. I think it was the Southern area title or something like that. He was very proud to win that fight or to win that title. And when you're coming up, those little titles mean something. Back, like back in the day here in the U.S., when you would fight for the NABF and the USBA and all them type of straps, right? They mean something locally because you keep building your way up. So, with Fisher, you know, uh, maybe he'll be fighting for the British world title here maybe in a year or so. All right. But he needs to, again, like the other two guys on the ESPN card, he needs to just keep having these type of fights. And eventually, I would say like at least by next summer, move up to like a Kamil Sokolowski. Some type of journeyman is going to be rough for you to beat. Even though Harry Armstrong was giving him some work. And he only got, like 6 fights. But I can tell that dude has been in the gym though, man. And, working um, as far as his boxing skill. But would love to see Fisher, just keep fighting these journeymen, keep learning. There's no reason to rush the guy. Um, and then eventually, what I'm saying, fight like a Nathan Gorman. I know he's with Frank Warren, but somebody like that. All right. Um, what was the next fight on the card? We had that. Okay, now let's go to Washington and Chisora. Okay. Now going into that fight, literally a pick 'em fight to me, literally. And I thought a draw would have been good. I thought a draw would have been good, but man, with that one, I would like to see Chisora hang it up. Now I'm just a fan. These guys, and he already told people to fuck off. That don't want him to fight again. But he's just Chisora, just plodding. He's slow. He smother his own work. He just doesn't. He's just not that vibrant, energetic type of come forward guy. Now he still's come forward, but it's slower. Sometimes it's lethargic. It looks like he's literally fighting in slow motion, and he's going to get really hurt in there, man. If he fights anybody that is a little bit younger, somebody on the young side that has a little bit more mobility and a little bit more power, a little bit springier in their step, he's going to get hurt bad. And he's a tough man, but he's going to get hurt bad, man. He's lucky Gerald um, didn't pick spots to fight him when he didn't want to fight. If Gerald could have turned it up and let 3, 4 punch combinations go when Chisora didn't want to fight, he probably would have knocked Chisora out. But Washington was able to land some good right hands. He was tired too. He going into that fight, I was saying he needs to stay off the ropes. And he did a decent job of staying off the ropes. He did a decent job of tying Chisora up. Just didn't let his hands go enough. And maybe because he was tired, but like looked like rounds 3, 4, looked like he was winded a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So the pressure that Chisora was able to apply, it affected Gerald to some degree. All right, but I thought that fight could have been a draw. I mean, Chisora, he just, I mean, there's really, no crazy breakdown of him. He just comes forward, tries to apply pressure and land hooks and uppercuts and that type of thing. You know what I mean? Um, but he looked very slow, man, very slow. Even when Washington was tired in spurts, Chisora still looked slow. You know what I mean? But I think he's going to get really hurt. Um, and I don't say that because I want to see the guy get hurt. I'm just watching. I'm sitting there like, oh man, if he was to fight Hrgovic or something, he'll probably get blasted out. You know what I mean? So they want to keep an eye on old Del Boy, man. But I know he's a fighting man, and you know what, these boxers, man, they're not going to. And sometimes these boxers, they need to get like knocked stupid unconscious. And I know that sounds crazy for them to leave. But if they keep squeaking by with, split decision losses and split decision wins, to them, that's enough to stay around. It's like, well, hey, I did lose my last fight, but man, I could have won this fight, had I been a little bit better. Guys like that need to get knocked the hell out. And I know that sounds harsh, but I'm just being honest with you. Sometimes guys like that don't retire until they get really, really embarrassed or badly hurt. And I hope Derek doesn't take that approach. But at the end of the day, he's a fighter. It's what he loves to do. So, hey, it's his career, man. Um, Leo Donald was good, bro. All right, now let me talk about Hrgovic versus Dempsey McKean. All right. So with this one, uh McKean, watching those guys seems like the springier guys as far as popping in, popping out, hand speed. Looked like he had the advantage, but he wasn't really sitting down on anything. Really wasn't sitting down on anything significant, man. So he was getting walked down a lot in that fight. And it shows me one thing about Hrgovic, that he can carry his power to the 12th round. McKean was standing close, trying to slip. He fought a decent fight, just then he just wasn't aggressive enough on offense to me. But he close range, got caught with a big shot, couldn't recover. So good stoppage victory for Hrgovic. But I thought McKean could have even fought him more competitively, man. But he just didn't let his hands go enough. He was showing this his, being agile and things like that, but just didn't let his hands go enough, in my opinion. Um, but I do think Hrgovic is still a live dog. Now people might start to think, hey, this dude's not as good. I think, and there's just some fighters, man, they'll be better suited coming in as, getting doubted a little bit. Instead of being highly touted, I think he needs to be doubted. And I think he fights better from that type of position coming into to the ring, and not being so much highly touted. Like, it's almost like it's too much pressure for him to perform at that level. You know what I mean? But he's definitely live for anybody because he has good boxing technique. He has amateur pedigree, Olympian, medaled, um, big right hand when he throws it, but he does gas, and he is vulnerable, and he can get hurt. You know what I mean? So to me, I love fighters like that, man, where they're vulnerable, but they also got some power. It makes for more excitement. You know what I mean? But I was most impressed with his power carrying, because McKean wasn't like going into that round, he wasn't hurt, sluggish, none of that. He just got caught. So I let you know that Hrgovic can carry his power, man, going into the 12th round. Blood, what's good, bro? My boy Retro Boxing, the documentary's up in here. Um, so as far as, Hrgovic, like I said, I would love to see him in some type of title eliminator bout. I'm not sure if that McKean, because McKean was rated by a few of the I don't have the sanctioned bodies in front of me, but he was rated by a couple of sanctioned bodies. But I think Hrgovic is next up for a title shot. I want to say per IBF. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I believe so. So, but I'm not sure how quickly that title shot's going to come. So if it doesn't come quickly, hopefully he will keep fighting guys that are at least top 15-ish, you know what I mean? And not just try to take on a whole bunch of journeymen and wait for his title shot. You know what I'm saying? So now let's get to the big thing, man. Anthony Joshua and Robert Helenius. Um, I'm starting to notice Anthony Joshua nose is starting to get busted a lot now. I know in the Povetkin fight, wasn't the Franklin fight too, the Usyk fight, his nose starts. So I don't know if it's just, I'm not sure if it just, he's just kind of weak in that area. But Helenius did a good job of landing his jab. He didn't let his hands go enough either with his right hand. I've seen an interview by him after the fact saying that he felt confident. He thought, not me, he thought he was really hurting Joshua, and he thought he should have let his right hand go. I will say this. I did see the confidence. I did see him landing a good jab. He busted Joshua's nose up. And yes, he should have let his right hand go a little bit more. All right. But I picked AJ to win that fight by mid to late round knockout. And that's damn near what happened. All right. But look, man, Anthony Joshua is starting to look very timid, tentative, reluctant, not sure. And I'm seeing a lot of fans say, nah, man, this is the new Anthony Joshua. This is the one that's going to take him to a different level in his career. Look what, we try to use examples like Lennox Lewis when he got knocked out and he went to Emanuel Stewart. Yeah, but at least Emanuel Stewart was encouraging him to throw a ramrod, hard ass jab. Be aggressive when you needed to. When you get in the clinch, put a motherfucker in a headlock when you need to. There was a lot of nuances that he showed Lennox. It wasn't just come with me and I'm gonna make you tentative. No, be tentative with a hard ass jab and a hard right hand behind it. Joshua is kind of looking like he's unsure of himself when to come forward, when to let his right hand go. Is it okay to throw combination? Oh, nope, the guy's not hurt enough yet. I really think that second Ruiz fight, man, just took some away from his confidence. Now, again, this is from the outside looking in. So I'm not in the camp. I'm not none of that. I'm just looking at it from watching this guy from the Olympics to where he is now. And when I say I want to see the old Joshua, that doesn't mean I want him to go in there with his chin in the air, going for broke. Of course, that's stupid. That's stupid. No, of course not. But I want to see you stepping forward with a hard jab, hard right hand, rolling under punches, but still standing right there. Just because you're standing there doesn't mean you can get hit. As long as you got, high defense, but we know Joshua doesn't really move his head offline. So those are the things. Let me get a drink. Those are the things that I would like to see Derrick James help him on. Making people miss when you're right there. Because right now his head is still on the line. He still backs up in the line. He's a little bit more patient, but it's not to me, it's not like a positive patient though. It's more of a, I'm not sure of myself patient, right? It's not like I'm peppering you with this hard jab and hard right hand and left hook, but I'm gonna stay out here and stay a little bit patient. Take that jab with you. Take that right. Nah, it's more of a, I'm not sure. I don't want to get clipped. That's what it looks like when I'm watching Anthony Joshua. He was patient in the fight. He had the quicker hands. When he really got behind his jab and trusted it, it was a good jab. That right hand, he set it up. He just didn't close his eyes and throw a right hand. He set it up with a jab. Seeing Helenius was against the ropes, seeing that Helenius had nowhere. Once you're against them ropes and you're standing straight up tall, you have nowhere to go, bro, man. You have nowhere to go. Unless when you get against some ropes, boy, you better be a prime, or not a prime, but Ali in the mid-70s, or you better be James Toney or Floyd Mayweather against some ropes, dog. But just going back in straight line you're just asking to get hit with a straight right hand or straight left hand, depending on which stance your opponent is standing in. And that's what happened to Helenius. And that was a beautiful right hand by Anthony Joshua. But he looks timid, not sure. Even in the Pulev fight, I know he stopped him. That was timid as hell. Super timid. The Ruiz fight, the second fight, he chose to use the jab, move around when he needed to, fight from the outside. Nothing wrong with that. But with some of these guys that have slower, you don't have to worry about the same things that you have to worry about with Ruiz with a guy like Helenius. Even Helenius at his best, the 2000, when he was fighting like Sam Peter and guys like that, talking about Helenius, he wasn't the fastest, quick-handed guy. He want to keep the jab on you, put you in position to line you up for his right hand. And if he can land that and you're still standing there, then he comes back with left hooks. I don't know, man. Now let's talk about Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. All right. Anthony Joshua not keeping his head offline, timid, don't know really when to come forward, taking steps backward in straight lines. He's right in line to get hit with a right hand. Everybody that Deontay Wilder has fought has hit the canvas. Now, I will say I have seen AJ get dropped by Ruiz and get his ass up. I did see him get dropped by Klitschko and get his ass up. I did see him have to have some moments against Usyk where it looked like he might get dropped and he fought back hard. So I know I'm calling the guy timid, but he does when the shit hits the fan, he will show some heart to like get up or fight his way out of it. But he gets gassed though, man. He gets gassed out. But as far as personality type and temperament, all that timid shit, you can't have that with Deontay Wilder, man. The one thing about Tyson Fury, he know how to put you in a headlock, right? Lean his weight on you. Throw a double jab and then duck under right after he throws a double jab. Come back with his own right hand. Have the balls to stand up to Deontay Wilder, walk to him, and snatch his right hand away. Well, when he wasn't getting hit clean with it, but for the most part, you know what I mean? Rolling with it, coming back with his. I will say that I think that Anthony Joshua is a harder puncher than Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury's more crafty with his punching, and it seems as if he has way more confidence than a guy like Anthony Joshua. Still seems kind of unsure of himself. When I see fighters in corners, and some of you may differ, and you can probably have examples of when this guy did it with this trainer, but when I see fighters having like whole conversations, that usually spells trouble. I'm talking about in the corner, like when you come back and you're literally having a whole conversation back and forth with your trainer. Usually that spells trouble to me as a fan, because you're supposed to come in there and listen. Unless he asks you a question, you're listening. Just like when I saw Spence and Crawford fighting, Spence trying to have like a dialogue with Derrick James. I'm like, yeah, this ain't going good for him, and it didn't. Usually it's the trainer giving you directions. He may ask you, hey, you good? And it's just like a head nod. But AJ being there like having like back and forth, and it's like, and I don't know, man. I could be nitpicking, but I really don't be. Usually it's a trainer and he's authoritative and he gives you directives and you follow. It ain't no back and forth. Okay, what do you think about this? Well, I don't know, man, because I'm trying to land that's crazy to me. But Deontay Wilder isn't some perfect fighter either. So I'm not saying that. His defense is still loose. You know what I'm saying? He has loose defense. He's been ran through the cleaners too, man. His last couple or the fights, the two fights with or the last 2 and 3 with Fury. Then was some brutal fights, man. Third fight he had, success with knocking Fury down, but he's been dropped too. He's been stopped twice. You know what I'm saying? So, but fighting styles though, he's going to come. He's going to be. He's not going to go on the back foot and throw light right hands and all that shit like the way Helenius did. He's going to throw hard right hands. And he's going to throw a lot of them. But he's not a perfect fighter. He can be countered. I think AJ's best bet against Wilder isn't to stay on the back foot, be timid. I don't think that's it. I think it's literally, man, and some of y'all may say, no, man, come forward and go for broke. But that's going to get him knocked out. Well, I think being on the back foot and being timid, throwing light jabs and all that shit, trying to look for counters. I don't think Anthony Joshua was some master counter puncher. I never viewed him like that. So to try to be that guy now, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work. I think he needs to get in Wilder's chest and fight him from mid-range, because he can punch too. And Wilder has shown that he'll get hurt, but what Wilder's also shown is he'll get back. Like, you literally got to knock him and that's what I love about Wilder. You literally got to knock him face first, unconscious. There ain't no, I'm not sure. And Wilder can fight his ass off when he's hurt. So I think Joshua needs to go in there and make it grimy. Make it grimy. Try to add a little bit what Fury had done with Wilder as far as the physicality, but I don't think that's in AJ. I don't think he wants to get hit like that. And with AJ, man, he's all over the place sometimes with things that he says. Like, 1 minute he'll say, you must be scared. And this isn't verbatim, but you guys have heard this when he said, I think a fighter is scared if he goes in there and tries to end fights with early knockouts. Like, you should want to. He just says like weird stuff sometimes, man, where it's like, huh? What? You can get him out of there. Get him the fuck out of there. Like, why would you let somebody hang around? Like, that's crazy to me. He'll say stuff like that. Then 1 minute he'll say, I think the Wilder fight is next. I mean, that's what the fans are saying. And then 1 minute he'll say, I want to bash his head in. So I really don't know how. He seems like he is a little bit intimidated of Deontay Wilder. Regardless of what he says, it's just too much. Whereas when it's Wilder talking about AJ, it's always, I'm a clean his clock. I'm a knock his, it's always like there is no, I need another fight, or, well, if that's what the fans said, then I guess that's one fight. It's never that. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's a winnable fight for AJ because he can punch. And I think he punches better in combinations than Deontay Wilder, and he has a really good uppercut. So he at least has to come out there and parry Wilder's jab in anticipation for the right hand coming from behind. And when Wilder lets that right hand go, AJ has to throw in combination. He can't just be, he just can't be comfortable with, all right, he missed the right hand, I'm good. I'm gonna just stay here. And then nah, that right hand let go, and you ain't knocked unconscious. You got to throw 3, 4 punches at Wilder, and then get up on him and grab him and push him, like that type of stuff. You can't just sit out there on the outside. From my point of view, I don't think you can sit out there from the outside and just be safe, especially on the outside. Because Wilder land one of them right hands up, dog, it's gonna be night night, or you at least probably gonna hit the mat. But I think Joshua seems, you look at their body frames. Wilder's a wiry, strong. He got some muscle too, but he's wiry, strong back. You know what I'm saying? But AJ seems a more muscular built guy, and being muscular doesn't win you fights. But I'm talking about being able to wrap up and use some physicality, put him against the ropes, put your forearm under his neck, fight a little bit, and then come. You got your left forearm under his neck, then come with a right hook over. I'm talking about really make it dirty and grimy a little bit. But trying to box safely from the outside, I just think, especially the guy that doesn't move his head, it's going to be a disaster. And try to target Wilder's body a little bit. But I'm curious if these guys fight. They're talking about early 2024. I know something about December came up with this year. I want to see Joshua's temperament when they're face to face. I don't think Wilder's going to come out there and try to start a fight at the presser. But with AJ, like with the weigh-in, I've seen him kind of, I ain't gonna say bully, but I've kind of seen him, have like some toughness with guys like Dominic Brazil and Charles Martin. And, what I mean? Even his last fight with Helenius at the weigh-in, like, what are you looking at? You got a problem? I'm just saying, man, because we can fight. I don't think he pulls that off with Wilder. I just don't, y'all. I don't think he pulls that type of, if Wilder's staring too much, I don't think he's going to say shit, to be honest. Not in fear, but I just don't think he's going to bring that type of energy with Wilder. I just don't think he has it in him. Now, if he does, hey, I'm going to be like, hey, this fight about to be lit. Like, I would love him to. So I'm not saying I don't want him to, but I don't think, just looking at their personality types, I don't think he's going to bring that. Where I can see Wilder saying, man, I'm going to knock you the hell out. I do think Joshua will respond and say, nah, mate, I'm going to knock you out. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But I'm talking about like face off or verbally getting into it. I don't see him. I just don't see it, y'all. Now I can see somebody like Dillian White going at Wilder like that in the presser or something, or I can see Jarrell Miller, but I don't see it, y'all. Now y'all could have different opinion. I'm gonna read y'all opinion, but I don't see him having that type of temperament with Deontay Wilder. I heard Johnny Nelson talk. I heard David Hay, a few other guys talk. A plethora of guys were speaking about, some guys even saying that Joshua needs another tune-up. Like, bro, how many tune-ups we need, man? And I'm not saying he said it, but I'm saying for the fans that think that. I disagree, because it's like, even, and look, I know I'm speaking from a fan's point of view, man. So I'm not his manager or any of that, but bro, like, it didn't happen in 2016, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're in 2023. No more tune-ups, man. Y'all both then took some L's. Just get in the ring and fight, please. And this is why I wish Wilder could have had him a fight. Because now I don't want to play ring around the rosy. We're like, okay, well, you had your slash tune-up against Helenius. Well, I got to get mine, so I'm going to fight such and such in November. And no, just fight. Just fight each other. No more tune-ups. No more ring around the rosy with the scheduling. Fight. Nobody's the champion, so there's no mandatory excuses. There's no I want to unify excuses. Fight. The champion of each other. The winner of this is going to be the champion of y'all's rivalry. And sometimes that makes for good entertainment. And you guys are two of the best heavyweights of this generation of fighters. Fight. No more tune-ups. Nobody's going to help you for Deontay Wilder, man. Nobody. Nobody has that type of... Now, there are some guys with some good right hands, but nobody's going to help you. I don't think there's no opponent out there to help you for Wilder. Maybe a FA, a Jagba, but then we're playing ring around the rosy again. I don't want to see you fight a Jagba. I would have wanted to see you fight a Jagba last weekend, but now that weekend's over with, I want to see Wilder. No excuses. No, I need the me and Derek James, we need, 3 more fights together. How do you know? Get in there and fight. So that's where I'm coming from on that. But I think it's a winnable fight for AJ, but I would definitely favor Wilder. Temperament, right hand, and some of the things that AJ is lacking, Wilder, I think, will take advantage of all that. But it's winnable because Wilder doesn't have the best defense, and Joshua can punch. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion, man. I ran my mouth. Let me see what y'all talking about. See what y'all boys in here talking about, man. Let me see here. Damn, I'm way behind, man. I was running my mouth like a mug. Hold on. Let me see, man. St. Cruising was good. Damn, I'm way behind. Look, I'm gonna do this, man. Instead, I'm gonna start from the bottom and work my way up. Okay, Afro Jam says Jololoff not experienced enough. We keep talking about Baca there, Jololoff. Man, speaking of Jololoff, man, I want to see if him and Torres gonna fight again because they're both with Top Rank, both with ESPN. That's a good storyline, right? Jololoff knocked Torres out. Something vicious. Something vicious. Was it in the Olympic trials? Nah, not the Olympic trial. It was in the World Championships, I think. He knocked him out, highlight reel style. Then they fought in the gold medal round, and Torres stood on his feet, and Joloff won the decision in that. So they can meet again in the pros, man. So that could be an interesting storyline. The J Rules theory, what's good, bruh? He says no tune-ups because no one else Joshua fights can mimic Deontay. That's what I was saying. Grimace 08, what's good, man? He says, bro, the guy that won the 2021 Olympic gold medal at super heavyweight will body bag all these bums easily. Oh, he's talking. Oh, that's where Afro Jam was talking about Jololov because he's the winner. I don't know, man. Like with these Grimace, look, bro, with these overseas fighters, I'm just saying. What some of those guys, especially like those Eastern Bloc guys, the knock on them is this. If you stand range with them, because a lot of these guys are tall and big, right? So you stand range with them, they're going to mess you up from the outside. But once you get in their chest, make it grimy, hold them, push them back, put them in a headlock if you can, put your weight on them. Kind of like what Andre Ward was doing to Kovalev. And I know there might be some people in here that was back then, oh no, he was hitting them in the nuts. Whatever, hitting them in the belly, whatever, making it dirty. Once you do that to those guys, they break. That's the knock on them. But we'll see. Now, are there some tough, overseas? Of course, but I'm just saying for the most part, the knock on those Eastern Bloc guys is get close and try to beat them up like that and not so much trying to fight from range. All right. Let me see here. Blood Retro Boxing says, Mr. Boxing, I get what you are saying. How's about one more fight with James? Hell no, Blood. No more one mores. Jack. I'm tired of one mores, man. Cause just think, Blood. Let's say he does fight one more fight, Blood. So let's just play make believe. So he fights again, all right, and he fights. I'm trying to think of a name. What's a good name out there? Shit. I don't know. Pick any heavyweight. He fights any heavyweight, right? Let's say he fights Otto Wallen, right? He beats Otto Wallen by decision, but Otto Wallen breaks his nose. So now he has to sit out because his nose is broke. And you know what? He shouldn't have got his nose broke by somebody like Otto Wallen. He's not even a power puncher. You know what? Let's have one more. Bro, look, but it's going to be another reason to have one more. That's why I don't like the one more. Let me get one more. Come on, let me get one more. Let me get one more. Because then there's always going to be a reason, an excuse to keep having one more. Because you got your nose broke. Maybe you suffered a knockdown. Maybe you should have stopped that guy sooner. But I get what you're saying because he has a new trainer. So getting acclimated and getting used to the new trainer. But I'm pushing back on that a little bit because this dude's in his 30s. This ain't like some 25-year-old upstart. This is a dude this is a cat that's in his 30s, former unified world champion. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't want the one more. We'd have had enough one mores, man. Franklin, you fought Franklin, you know what I mean? And now you done fought this cat. No more one mores, man. Let's get this thing going. You know what I mean? No more one mo's. Cause there's gonna be one more for something else. And then we're gonna sit here and then blood, that's where we're gonna get into the ring around the rosy. Cause then he takes one more. And then let's say Wilder doesn't fight. But you know how these cats are after a fight's over within a couple weeks, then the other cat signs to fight somebody else so they can get there. And it's gonna be a whole bunch of scheduling. And we're gonna have to sit here and play ring around. Kind of like what Povetkin and Wilder was doing up until Povetkin failed that test. Remember when they were doing that shit? Kept scheduling around each other when Wilder had to fight Spilka. That was all around the time when him and Povetkin was trying to fight each other. And I think Povetkin ended up fighting like Marius Wach, and then it was ring around the you know what I'm saying? So hell no. Big Boys Boxing, what's good, bro? Out there in New Zealand, he says, yeah, ones and twos from the outside from Joshua's good plan is a good plan to sleep. Joshua's inside game seems to have gone, and he would need that to beat Wilder. Yeah, man, because I think he's so timid. Like, I don't think he wants to even get now. Nobody wants to get hit, but I think that when he puts himself, I think it just comes off when you watch him, like he doesn't even want to be in range to even mix it up. Like it has to be 100 to 0 percentage wise, not even a 95-5. 100%, like you have to be hurt damn near on your last leg or you slowed down significantly for Joshua to see green and say, all right, or see red and say, all right, now I'm about to mix it up. It's like he's way too timid. J. Roos Theory says Joshua needs to get inside and definitely throw combos. Yeah, make it a little dirty, man. Afro Jam says Wilder hurt will knock you down or make your legs wobble. Yeah, he definitely gonna do something to you bad. 619 Cali Factory was good, bro. He says that makes sense. He says that makes sense. Then why AJ lost to Ruiz and Usyk? I think he might be responding to somebody. Ooh, hold on. Big Boxing. You said Big Boys Boxing says you heard Otto Wallen versus Gassiev might be coming. That's gonna be a good fight. Gassiev, coming from Cruiser, always had a good left hook, good heavy hands. I heard Chris Arreola once say that in sparring, not his fights, but in sparring, according to Chris Arreola, and this might still be online, he said the guy he's punched him the hardest in sparring was Gassiev. You know what I mean? So I would pick Wallen in that fight, though. I think he's not going to be intimidated by the strength of Gassiev. He has the boxing ability and footwork and southpaw stance and a good jab. He's a solid fighter. I think he beats Gassiev. And I think it'll be competitive in the first 6-7 rounds. And I can see Otto Wallen kind of scooping up the last rounds. Because look at the way Gassiev fought Usyk. Damn, hold on. That's a good comparison because Usyk is a southpaw. Yeah, so Gassiev puts up the high guard, and he's one of them guys where he goes high guard, let you run your 3 or 4 punches, and then once you done throw your punches, then he wants to come out and throw his punches. That's why against Usyk he didn't have much success because Usyk let his 3 or 4 punches go, and he moving. He getting the hell up out of dodge. He ain't gonna let 3 or 4 punches go and just stand there with you and say, all right, now it's your turn. You know what I'm saying? Gassiev has better success against guys like that. The guys that run their punches and then let you have your turn for the most part because they don't get the hell out the way. So I see Wallen. I might see that like a 117, 111, like that type of score. You know what I mean? So super chat. Hold on, let me. Oh. What's good, bro? Say less up in here, man. I appreciate that, bro. He says, good to see you streaming, fam. Hope you and the family doing well. For sure, man. And likewise, man. Good to see you up in here, bro. Old school up in here, man. Now, I want to say the last time I was communicating with you, I think you was in college or something like that. That was a long time ago, bro. Appreciate the 10, though, man. Little $10 holla. I appreciate that. I'm all over the place, y'all, so I'm going to try to read y'all's comments. Big Boys Boxing says, I'm wondering if Team Anderson, Swerve, Kasabuski, my thoughts. You asked me my thoughts, and he says it's not like he couldn't have remade the fight after John shorted his visa out. I'm not going to lie, man. That last fight with Martin probably made his team say, you know what? We believe that you are the future. We do. But Kasabuski probably has more in the tank, has taken way less punishment, even though Charles Martin is more experienced at the high level than Kasabuski. Kasabuski hasn't took as much damage, was a good amateur. And them dudes are tough, man. From his region, them are some tough dudes, man. So maybe they think, Anderson needs, a little bit more, a few more little light touches before we put him in there with Kasabuski. Because you're right, though, man. Once they get that ironed out and get it, Visa's going, then, hey, let's fight. Why is the fight off the table now? But I'm not going to say that, he's scared or his team is scared. I just think they probably looking at that as, hey, man, let's, not to say that Kasabuski is some big time world beater, but maybe they just want to stay active and get to that at another time. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're right though, bro. Once they sorted out the visa shit, let's see it. You know what I mean? Let's definitely see it. Jacksman Pennant says Anthony Joshua versus Jonathan Rice. I'll pick AJ in that fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan Rice was to bust his nose, make it interesting for a few rounds. But just like AJ, Jonathan, even though he fights with a lot of heart, you know what I mean? Fights with a lot of heart, man. A lot of heart. He gets winded sometimes, like the fight he had with Dempsey McKean, when McKean stopped him, I believe, in the last round of their fight. In the 10th round, he stopped him. And that was a fight where he was giving McKean some problems. But then you'll see Jonathan Rice go in there and upset some guys, too. But against AJ, I'll pick AJ. But I can see Jonathan Rice busting his nose and making it ugly. I can definitely see that. Definitely. As crazy as that sounds, right? Me saying stuff like that sounds crazy, right? Now, if this was 3-4 years ago, that would sound insane, me saying something like that, right? It would sound insane to say what Jermaine Franklin could possibly do in a fight with Anthony Joshua, or Anthony Joshua, I ain't gonna say struggling, but having to, really work with Helenius to get him up out of there, right? That sounds crazy now, but Joseph Brown was good, bruh. He says AJ finally was able to execute what James told him in between rounds, jab to the chest, throw the right hand over the top. And that was beautiful, bro. That setup was beautiful. Like, that was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now it's, can he carry out those instructions and be attentive when you got a motherfucker that's one of the hardest punchers in heavyweight history? You know what I mean? So, I don't know. DLP says, I thought Zhang won, but it was close. Are you talking about the fight with Zhili Zhang and Hrgovic? I thought Zhang should have got that too. L Dub says, AJ versus Brazil was my favorite AJ. He was ruthless. He was ruthless in the, you guys over there in the UK, when they have, I don't know where this is, but when they have those guys meet up and they meet outside, it's when you go over to the UK to promote the fight. And they meet outside in that little area that they always seem like a lot of AJ's fights were in this little area, whatever, outside. But when they're outside, you can tell AJ was talking shit to Brazil. Yeah, he was ruthless in those fights. Even that Dillian White fight, he got rocked. Like, I like that AJ. I like the old AJ. I know people say, oh, man, you want to see him not have head movement. Well, he really still ain't got no head movement, and this is the so-called new AJ. But just the AJ is more aggressive. You get knocked out being aggressive and having a responsible defense, but you're stepping forward, using what God gave you, those attributes. Use them. I don't want to see Anthony Joshua try to be fucking Michael Spinks. That's not him. That's not. I don't want to see him be Larry Donald. That's not him. And as much as I love Larry Holmes, I don't want to see him try to be prime Larry Holmes, bouncing around. That's not AJ. I want to see more of a Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis type, where you're a solid 250-pounder, 6'5", 6'6", or whatever the hell, and using a ramrod jab, a hard right hand, and I'm going to be right on you, dog. And when I do step back, I'm stepping back at an angle, and I'm a duck and have a high guard and tight guard. But not this tentative crap, man. I don't see how that's going to help him against Wilder. Let me see if y'all left me some new ones. D.O.B. Newly says, he says, AJ wants to patiently go rounds now. He won't be more assertive anymore. Yeah. Oh, man, I appreciate it again. Say less. The $10 holla. He says, I I like improvements I've seen from both AJ and Wilder. I actually think AJ has a great chance if heavyweight comes in with confident and aggressive, but I don't think he will. And that's true, man. Neutral Natural was good, bro. He says pound for pound, weakest heavyweight punchers of all time. Neutral Natural up in here, man. But yeah, say less. And that's what I was saying. You kind of joined me late, bro. But that's what I was saying. It's a winnable fight. And I know people that's probably joining out like, man, this dude just dogging AJ. Now it's a winnable fight because Wilder has holes in his defense. And he is aggressive. And he will come forward. And he will go for broke. And that can leave you a little bit vulnerable. And AJ, I think, throws better combinations than Wilder. I've been saying that since the whole Wilder and Joshua debate's been going on. Just like I've been saying, Andy Ruiz, when it comes to throwing combos, has the fastest hands in the division. Doesn't mean he's the best, just has the fastest hands to me. But yes, it's definitely a winnable fight for both AJ and Wilder. And once it becomes like winnable for both, then I'll start looking at other intangibles, mindset, confidence, temperament. All that shit matters. Evander Holyfield's temperament is what made him the real deal. Larry Holmes' temperament is what made him the Eastern Assassin. Not just his beautiful jab, his temperament. Not all this unsure. Well, I'm not sure. Man, Larry Holmes was sure when he was an old man, he was sure of himself. I'll whoop these young snot-nosed, wet behind the ear dudes. I'll take Ray Mercer to school. Mike Tyson can't punch. He would have got beat by such and such in my back when I started. Got knocked out by Mike, but just his confidence and temperament, you need that. I almost think Derek Chisora got more of it in him than AJ has in himself. Temperament, man. It's not just about skills and pedigree and a nice shiny gold medal and some unified titles, man. It's about temperament, man. So you can have Derrick James, you can Garcia, you can have whoever you want in your corner, dog. It's like Errol, right? I think Errol is going to mess around, probably get hurt going in there with Terrence Crawford again. But just that willingness to want to run it back. And not to say that AJ didn't run things back, because he ran it back with Ruiz. He ran it back with Usyk. He has it, bro. He has it. I'm just not sure he's going to have all that with Wilder. I'm not sure he's going to have the bravado he had looking at Brazil face to face that he's going to have with Wilder. I'm just not sure. Not that Wilder's some boogeyman, but one thing about Wilder, yeah, he got his defense is leaky, his skill set is kind of but one thing you know about Deontay, he's bringing his right hand, and he's going to be confident. This dude called himself a king. You know what I'm saying? So you know he's coming with confidence. You ain't got to worry about none of that. None of it. And for the most part, he's going to have some stamina. The reason why it looked like his stamina was shit against Fury, because Fury was putting his body on him, putting him in the headlock, fighting Wilder when Wilder didn't want to fight, when Wilder wanted to rest. Like Wilder throws his jab, right hand, brings up right hand back. He wants to reset and then get back at it again. Fury said, once you let that right hand go, I'm right up on you. I'm not going to let you pull the right hand back, reset, and then find me again. You threw, and even when he did hit Fury with a good right hand, boom, Fury come right back. 1, 2, 3, 4, then move, and then start bouncing a little bit, mixing it up. Or AJ doesn't have that in his game. Stiff Stife 17 says he will do he windmills and get caught. Possibly. That's possible that he can and I know you talking shit, you know, he's gonna windmill, but when he throws that missile right hand, he could get countered. He's not some perfect fighter. And what you gotta realize though, Stife 17, is Wilder to me damn near fights at his best when it's helter-skelter, when it's kind of like a brawl. Because all it takes is one from him. Even some of his knockdowns, besides that the one in the first fight, like the ones in that second fight, those were like him mixing it up with Fury and then boom, catching him. Then he has the ones where, like against Spilka, where he's kind of, he just has different variety of knockouts with that right hand. Sometimes they're long. Sometimes they're in the middle of you throw a punch or whatever, or he's walking you down. He lines you up with one. I'm just not sure that AJ's gonna want any of that smoke, man. That's a good point, big boys. Boxing, he says he only windmills when the opponent is hurt. When AJ is hurt, when he is hurt, and when AJ is hurt, he is proper hurt. Can see AJ countering when he hurts himself. So yeah, you made a good point. He goes into that mode when he had boom, he has you hurt, then he comes over, then he rushes in with all these wild punches. You know what I'm saying? So but for the most part, he's a patient. For the most part, Wilder is a calculated type of fighter. If you really break him down, that's why when we talk about Wilder, oh, he lost X amount of rounds to Gerald Washington before he got knocked out. And I always say this. I had Spilka winning that fight when he I think I had it 5-4-1, 5-3 and 1 even. Whatever round they're going into, I had Spilka winning by 1 round, and I had 1 round even. Wilder's pretty calculated. That's what I'm saying, y'all. That's what made Fury so dangerous. He knows this. That's why Fury's game plan was a lot different going to that second and third fight. The first fight, Fury did what Wilder wanted to do. Okay, let's stay on the outside and try to find each other from range a little bit. And Fury was the one that got the worst of it because Wilder lined his ass up with right hands. Second fight, Fury said, "Man, hell with this. I'm not about to sit on the outside with you, big dog. Like, I'm about to just go downhill." And shouts out to Dwyer, but Dwyer Boxing always says this: crash the pocket. I'm about to crash the pocket, bro. I ain't about to do. I don't know if AJ has that crash the pocket mindset with Deontay Wilder. He didn't even have it with Helenius, let alone a damn Deontay Wilder in front of him. Nah, I don't know, bro. So he sets guys up. He gets you comfortable to think, oh, this is how it's like fighting Wilder. Oh, cool. I can fight like this and win. I'm gonna win some rounds fighting like this. Then boom, because he calculated a jab right hand. It happens damn near every fight, man. Like it damn near happens every fight. And then he just caught Helenius off the back foot with a right hand. Man, Joshua gonna have to move his head offline, y'all. He's gonna have to definitely move his head offline. Retro boxing documentary says he said he's just been inactive and will be 38 in his next fight. I still favor him, but 38 is getting up there, and I don't know how age will set in. That's a good point. Now we both know heavyweights age a little bit differently, blood, but I get what you're saying with the inactivity, because that just look inactivity. And I know some fighters, it's funny, right? Once fighters make a lot of money, become millionaires over and over again, it's funny though, man. Then inactivity, oh, I needed a rest, from all the hard training from my other camp, from a fight that I had a fucking year ago. But hey, I needed the rest, spend time with my kid. But when they're coming up, man, these cats is fighting 6 times in 1 year, 3 times a year, twice a year. As soon as they make that money, they need a break. They needed some rest. The last training camp was strenuous. It's funny. It's just funny how that works. And that all comes from just you're in a more comfortable position in life. You're a millionaire, times and times over again. And you only want certain fights, which causes ring rust. So I will give that edge to AJ that he is staying active. That's why when Wilder and Ruiz didn't work, it's like, bro, you ain't got a plan B, C, D, E, F, G. Like that was it. It was just Ruiz and that was it. Just Ruiz and AJ. But I get it. Wilder doesn't want to, I totally get that, man. But you got to get in there. You're still going to get, it's not like you're not going to get paid. So it's not like you're going to say, all right, well, if I don't fight AJ Ruiz, then I got to fight for free. You're still going to get paid. Just have a tune up. Just get somebody in there. You know what I'm saying? Or to stay busy and stay active in the ring. And, from what I'm hearing, man, that Ruiz is pricing himself out. Now, I'm not in the business of telling guys what they shouldn't ask for, but what I'm hearing from fighters, though, and trainers, that he's just asking for astronomical amounts of money. And it's like, bro, you wasn't I'm talking about Ruiz, you wasn't some long reigning 8-year champion, dog. Like you had you caused a crazy upset, became the first Mexican, heavyweight champion. You got fast hands. I've been thinking he's been a top 10 heavyweight when I came up with my top 10 list from years ago. 2016, I had Ruiz in the bottom of my top 10s. So he's been a top 10 heavyweight caliber fighter for years. The big knock on him is just people talk about his body, but he's tough as nails. He had a dominant performance against Ortiz. He's 1-1 against AJ, but then he can get lazy sometime. He had a war with Areola. Exciting fighter to watch, man. You know what I mean? But from what I'm hearing though, he's asking for astronomical percentages, and so I'm not into that type of boxing talk, but I just hope he ain't up here, man, asking for just crazy shit to fight good fights, only to fight Larry Lunchmeat for a fourth of the price, so you can get your 80%. So sometimes it comes down to math. It's like, so fight Larry Lunchmeat on the undercard of some welterweight fight for 80% of some chump change for those guys, right? For a couple 100,000. Or just take whatever, 70-30 with Wilder and make millions. But it's only 30%. Yeah, we still getting millions. Like, sometimes I don't think these dudes do math, man. Like, look, man, if you go into a fight with somebody, bro, right? And it's 200,000. Look, y'all get what I'm saying, man. So you want 80% of a $300,000 fight, or do you want 40%, 35% of a however many millions dollars of a fight? It just comes down to math. But again, I'm a fan. What do I know? I'm nobody's manager, so what the hell do I know? Guys, Hearsome says, big boys, you looking forward to Kiki Toa Luita versus Tuosi next week? At the odds. The J. Roos theory says fighters don't stay active enough for some reason. Yeah, man, especially when you become millionaires. My man Blood says, if Wilder does not fight Ruiz and wants to get one in, who would be a good fight? That's a good question, bro. Anybody that is rated in a sanctioning body's top 10. So that could be Martin Bacole, that could be Frank Sanchez, that could be any of them cats, man. Any of them cats. Otto Wallen. If you want to fight some like opponents that'll fight some of your adversaries, like Otto Wallen, who's fight Tyson Fury, you can fight him. Somebody in that top 10, blood. Somebody that's sanctioning body ranked top 10. That's who he should fight. But I would love to see like a Frank Sanchez, Otto Wallen. I think those are two I keep using examples, because them the two I really want to see get chances against people. I think people are trying to stay away from Frank because he can box, he can take a punch, and he got a little pop. And I think people are kind of staying away from Otto because he's a southpaw. He ain't going to be scared. And you can argue, besides knockdown, you can argue, shit, that he fought Fury just as tough as Wilder. But I know those knockdowns are resounding, but he fought Fury tough and bust his eye. You can argue that fight could have been stopped. And he beat up Dominic Breazeale pretty easy. So I think those will be some good fights for him, because the fans will be familiar with Wallen because he beat up Dominic Breazeale here in the States, and he had that fight here in the States in Vegas against Fury. And then Frank Sanchez beat up somebody that has a similar type of style to Wilder in F.A. Jagba. And they're all PBC shit, or Sanchez, you know what I mean? So it should be easy fights. Ottawa Liam, what's good, bro? He says, I'm just not happy with my man AJ for acting like a girl for years, avoiding the Wilder fight. What are they talking about? He needs 2 more fights again. Wilder will be 40. Yeah, I don't see it, bro. Oh, please tell me that's not real, neutral, natural. Frank Sanchez rumored to fight Areola. And Areola's on my shout out to Chris, man. He's first person to give me a drop. When my videos come on, shouts out to him. But this is why I don't like getting close to fighters, and that's why I don't like doing that, man. Getting close to camps. I'm saying for me, because I like to be able to say, hey, man, you got your ass whooped, without feeling a certain way or you not talking to me no more. You know what I'm saying? So, but Chris, man, I'll put it like this. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight again, but I'd rather see him fight somebody like Jarrell Miller. Because I think a guy like Sanchez is going to just outbox him and beat him to the punch all night and win a wide UD. That's what I think. Now, doesn't mean I want to see Areola fight again. I'd love to see him get in there, be on the undercard, fighting a Jarrell Miller, or somebody with that type of style that's going to come forward and mix it up and make it an entertaining fight. Retro, let me see. Okay, Camille Oz, what's good, bro? He says thoughts on Wilder versus Steve S.S. Cunningham. Steve would jump at that opportunity. Well, What the hell is going on? Put it like this. I know Steve stays in great shape. I know that for a fact. I know he trained his boys and he's always in the gym. Um, Good boxing skills, good pedigree, former world champion at cruiser, formerly one of the top cruiserweights in the world. Um, I see Wilder knocking him out though. I'm not even gonna hold you. I see Wilder knocking him out. Um, but I think he can set some traps and box a little bit and probably still a round or two. But I just see once he gets hit with that right hand, it's gonna be good night. And I know that's kind of corny, right, for me to keep saying that and kind of predictable. But bro, like the dude fought 40 some odd fights and he knocks everybody down or out with the same punch, like with the right hand. So I know it's predictable for me to say it because the shit always happens. Literally. You know what I mean? So, but besides the second Fury fight, but the man Fury, the man guy he fighting, the person has been put on his ass 4 times against Wilder. So yeah, man. Until that streak stops of him putting everybody who he fights on their ass, then I'll stop saying it. But I think he knocks him down or knocks him out. Say Less says, wait. He says, let me do this for Say Less. I'm surprised he ain't Neutral Natural says, I don't have Twitter. Okay, y'all. Okay, you're talking to L Dub. Say Less says, wait, the Joshua Wilder fight not happening. What would be the holdup now? Something. So what? So what? So probably what you're missing right now, Say Less, is so. And on one hand, Eddie Hearn is saying it's next, right? And then you'll hear another interview where people are kind of saying they don't know yet. Eddie Hearn said that the Saudis want it to happen in December, but now they're looking at January. And then you're hearing some pundits say that there might be another fight. So I really don't know, bro. There's like a lot being said right now. So, but me, I'm thinking that it's gonna happen next. Is just when, December or January, February. But yeah, there has been little rumblings about AJ possibly taking another fight, bro. So we'll see. All right, my boys that came back. My boys, hold on. Is he still up there? Jalen still up there? All right. I'm about to head up here with my boys. Hey, I appreciate y'all joining me, man. I didn't get to everybody's comment, but this is a little random live, but I want to keep my channel going. I don't want to go too long without making videos, and I definitely want to at least, at the very least, cover the fight cards. But fellas, I'm going to try my hardest to make vids, but y'all know, man, I'm not into the, and no knock on people that do this, but I just don't have enough time to do it. Hey, Usyk today on Instagram said I would have been able to knock out Larry Holmes and then do a video about it. Like, I just don't have enough time to do that, but I will cover upcoming fights and I will cover post fights and what I think about those. But like the daily, Jarrell Miller cussed out Otto Wallen, I don't have time for that. And don't get me wrong, some of that stuff is entertaining in between fights, man, just to keep boxing conversations going. But to me, that stuff's kind of insignificant, especially in these days, because guess what? I can go on Instagram right now and call out Anthony Joshua. It's just these call outs are a lot of bluffing going on. So I don't want to, and I know I can get a lot of ass sense for just talking about a lot of bluff and filler buster and all that. I don't want to do it. All right, so I will cover upcoming fights. If there's an interesting prospect, I'll drop a vid on him. If somebody says something on Instagram that makes some sense and there's probably some, steam behind it where it can be, come to fruition, then I'll do a vid about that. But this little daily, Deontay Wilder bought a new boat or stuff like that, I'm not going to do vids on that, man. But read the last one, guys. Here's says, Mr. Boxer, can you watch the highlights of Justice Hanu versus Kiki Toalutu and let me know what you think about? Okay, yeah, I'll watch Justice. Justice is a good fighter, good young fighter, man. I would love to see him keep stepping up, keep winning fights. They did him kind of bogus though, man. If y'all go on the internet, there's a video of Justice Hanu getting knocked out in sparring. He must have made somebody mad, because usually you don't put that shit on the internet. If one of these main guys get knocked out in sparring, only thing it'll be is just a rumor. And if there is tape of it, you ain't gonna see it. So somebody did him bogus, man. I seen that on the internet one day. Like, damn, they actually got this on the internet. Him getting knocked out or he got knocked down pretty hard in sparring. I was like, yikes. But yeah, bro, I'll definitely watch that fight and I'll do like a little post vid on it. But hey, before I leave though, Big Boy Boxing, did you see that? And guys, here's some. Have y'all seen that video of Justice Hanu getting like knocked out in sparring? Like that's crazy. Out of Walima says Mr. Boxing Moses Atayuma out of England. Okay, yeah, check that out, bro. Check that out, Big Boys Boxing. Mr. Boxer, what do you think about Arsenal? All right, y'all, because y'all keep asking, I'm gonna just stay on here. So I'm gonna read back these comments, and when my next video I drop, I will go over these fighters that you're asking me about, and I'll watch that post or I watch the that Hanu fight. All right, but y'all be easy, man. I appreciate the super chats, say less, and I appreciate y'all coming up in here and kicking it with me for a minute, man. All right, y'all be easy. I'm going.